Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls. My name is Big Akor Ahmed, and Salamu Alaikum. Welcome to the channel. Today we are going to be reacting to a video called How Muslims Treat Women. It is a 60-second short from the channel Anti-Prophet. I follow this channel. I think he touches on some pretty good points. He says some ignorant and stupid things sometimes. So that's why we're going to go ahead and touch on this. He has a pretty big following, and this video has a lot of views. So let's go ahead and jump right into it.
When we see Islamic women in hijabs, we in the West generally view this as oppressive behavior towards women. However, if you take a deeper look into why hijabs and body coverings were introduced in the first place, you realize they were probably a pretty good idea. Back in the day, women were used as currency. If one of your sons killed the son of one of your neighbor could demand that you send over your sister so that they could have their way with her and create a new life, or the life that was taken. It was driven by lust, and it fucked women over in Europe and Africa.
Everything's still driven by lust, bro. Have you watched a movie? Have you seen music, the music industry, and what they promote in music? Have you seen the amount of girls doing OnlyFans and selling their bodies online? Have you scrolled down Instagram? Everything's built off of lust. People go to the clubs every weekend. These kids in high school are going to parties and drinking and fornicating. It's literally wild. So it's not just back then things were built off of lust. Today, things are also built off of lust. And these girls are sold. You think that they're not oppressed because they're being sold by men? They are being sold by men, just at higher corporate powers. And they're not being forced. They're doing it willingly. They're willingly selling themselves.
For centuries. But the Arabs saw this, and
if you want to talk about oppression, modern day women are the most oppressed. They're forced to work. They're forced to do a lot of these things that take on the man's role, and they're forced to do both roles, the woman's role and the man's role. And once they start doing the man's role, they start dropping their attributes as a woman.
we're like, yeah, that. And they decided to take lust out of the equation entirely as a way to protect women from becoming a currency. And they did that by introducing the hijab. Now, is it the year 1134 anymore? And do we need to be worried about women being traded around like dollar bills? Largely no, which makes the hijab oppressive. However, it's important to understand why ideas you find cringe were instituted in the first place, because you understand why people are arguing for them in the first place, and by understanding, you're better able to offer an alternative that actually liberates women instead of just calling Muslims crazy, which won't do anything except drive the divide between our worlds even further.
What did you just say?
When we see Islamic like dollar bills, largely no, which makes the hijab oppressive.
Which makes the hijab oppressive. It's oppressive because women today aren't being traded around like dollar bills. But he's missing the point. They are. They're being traded around like dollar bills because they don't cover themselves, and they think that it's liberating to take their clothes off and to show their bodies and to sell their bodies and to use their bodies to sell music and to use their bodies to sell from their own businesses and to use their bodies to make, you know, like the sexy teacher and the sexy doctor and the sexy this and the sexy that. It's the clothes that women wear is very tight. It's very revealing. It's very cut open. Everything that you buy as a woman, it looks like it was made for a toddler, like a 5-year-old. Like when a girl buys a new shirt or she buys some new pants, it looks like it could fit on my 5-year-old self, right? It's just like the clothes that they create for women are so revealing and so tight, and they think that this is liberation. They think that it's liberating. And the funny thing is he's calling the hijab oppressive in today's day and age because women don't need it anymore, right? We don't live in a society where women are getting traded, right? But then he tells us that the hijab was created in what?
For centuries. But the Arabs saw this and were like, yeah, that. And they decided to take lust out of the equation.
And he says the Arabs saw that and they were like, F that. And so they created the hijab. But then if you look when the Arabs weren't around, because it's not the year 1100 anymore. You know what year it is? This is Mary, the mother of Jesus. She's wearing this veil over her head, as you can see. You can see it in all these images. This is Mary, peace be upon her, the mother of Jesus. She arrived on earth 1100 years before this guy's stating anything that he's stating. And look, she's wearing a hijab. She's wearing modest clothing that are baggy, that cover her hair, that cover her head. I wonder where she learned that from. Did she learn it from the Arabs that created the hijab to oppress women so they wouldn't be sold off as sex slaves? Or did this woman who had a virgin-born child still cover herself? That's the real question. So, I mean, he can pick at Islam and call the hijab oppressive and say that the Arabs created the hijab, but it's been around way, 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 way longer than you think. Modesty has been around since the dawn of time, brother. It's not Prophet Muhammad that came and the Arabs that came and Islam that came and implemented the hijab. We just actually follow the rule and cover our hair. We decide to follow the actual commandments of God. But these commandments have been around since the Old Testament, since Moses was commanded the laws of God. So this isn't something new. This isn't something that's unique to Arabs. This isn't something that's unique to Muslims. This is something that has been around since the beginning of time. It's how modest women are supposed to dress so that they're not sexualized, that a woman has a lot more to them than what they show, right? Their actual body, their tight jeans and their tight clothing and their breasts. Because when women dress like that, unfortunately, God has created men and women a specific way, and biologically, when you're hungry, you want to eat. When you're thirsty, you want to drink. So when you're showing 8 billion men on the planet, or 4 billion men on the planet, your private parts, right, and you're revealing yourself to them, they're not gonna treat you like a person. They're gonna treat you like an object. They're gonna treat you like something that they want, that they're craving. You understand what I'm saying? This is something that is in our instincts. It's instinctive to us, just like a woman has the instinct to nurture and to cater and to care. If you ever seen a mother with her child, no one loves their child like a mother. So that's just it. The instincts that we're built with are the instincts that we're built with. The hijab is not oppressive. The hijab is a choice that people make. The hijab is not something that Arabs created. It's something that God has commanded women to wear, and also men to wear, to cover themselves modestly. Don't walk around with your shirt off. Don't, put on veils, put on these things to cover yourself and dress modestly. This is something that is required from men and women. This is not something that is, an Arabic concept, an oppressive concept, or anything of that nature. Here you go. Here's Mother Mary, one of the most important women on the planet. 1100 years before what he's quoting right now, she's wearing a hijab. Anyways, guys, that's the video today. If you liked the video, leave your comments down below, leave a like, and subscribe so you never miss another video. If you want, you can check out Anti-Prophet's channel. I'll go ahead and link it in the description. But my man's talking out of his booty here. Hijab is not oppressive. Peace and blessings, everyone. Goodbye.